Hello students, welcome to Nagesh Karajagi Orchid School. I, Shrikant Joshi, again we have gathered here to study statistics. In the previous session, we had seen primary data, secondary data, a range of data, and at the conclusion of the previous session, I had said that if the data is more, if the data is large, example 2 I had shown you that consider the marks obtained out of 100 marks a test has been conducted and 30 students have attempted the test of class 9. Recall that the number of students who have obtained a certain number of marks is called frequency of those marks. This we know very well. We have studied in our previous class. What is frequency? Frequency is nothing but certain number of students who have obtained certain number of marks. Means we are counting the number of students who obtained certain number of marks is called frequency of those marks. Now for example here 4 students got 70 marks. So the frequency of 70 marks is 4. What is that? Frequency of 70 marks is 4. To make the data more easily understandable, we write it in a table given below. Here you can see first column is representing the marks, second column is the number of students who have scored those marks, which is nothing but frequency. Looking to the table you can understand one student scored 10 marks, one student scored 20 marks, 3 of them scored 36 marks, and in this way you can see the table, and at the end one student scored 95 marks. Please see the total, it is 30. This is the frequency total. What is frequency total? The number of students who have attempted this test. This table above is an ungrouped frequency distribution table. Why ungrouped? Because whatever the marks are being scored by the students, all those are being recorded separately, 10, 20, 36, 40. Now 40 and 50, in between no 45, no 41, no 48 is present because none of the student has scored any mark between 40 and 50. 40 marks 4 students have scored, 50 marks 3 students have scored. So this is what? This is an ungrouped frequency distribution table, or simply a frequency distribution table. Simply what it is? It is a frequency distribution table. Note that you can also use tally marks in preparing these tables, as in the next example. You can use tally marks also. Yes, we have studied that. Now see the next example. Data is increased here. 100 plants. What? 100 plants. What happened then? Each were planted in 100 schools. Children, understand the situation. 100 plants each were planted in 100 schools. Means there are 100 schools, and in those 100 schools each of the school has planted 100 plants during Vana Mahotsav. After 1 month, the number of plants that survived were recorded as. After 1 month, the number of plants that survived were recorded as. When it was recorded? After 1 month. What they recorded? How many plants survived? means how many plants are glowing up. Here you can see the huge amount of data, 95, 67, 28, as it goes on. At the end I can say 83, 34, 36. These are the survey, the number of plants that are survived in those 100 schools. Further, to present such a large amount of data, now you can understand how the volume of data is increased. So that, now what to do to present such a large amount of data, so that a reader can sense or can understand from it easily. We have to make it into groups. What the groups can be? 20 to 29, 30 to 39. In this way, 90 to 99. Since our data is from 23 to 98, these groupings are called classes or class intervals. What are the main things? Why the groups are like 20 to 29? The explanation is there inside the bracket. Since our data is from 23, means the minimum number of plants that survived in a school are 23, and in some other school the maximum number of plants that survived is 98. Means it has not happened that none of the plants survived in a school or all 100 plants got survived in a school. It has not happened. So these groupings have been done on that basis. These groupings are called what? Classes or class intervals, and their size is called class size or class width, which is 10 in this case, which is 10 in this case. In each of these classes, the least number is called lower class limit and the greatest number is called the upper class limit. What is lower class limit? The least number. And what is upper class limit? The greater number. Means in the class 20 to 29, 20 is the lower class limit. What is 20? Lower class limit. And 29 is the upper class limit. What is 29? Upper class limit. Also recall that using tally marks, the data can be condensed in a tabular form. The data can be written in a tabular form or presented in a tabular form. Now see the table here. The first column, number of plants survived. Second column, tally marks. Third column, number of schools, that is frequency. Now number of plants survived between 20 to 29. How many schools are there in that? 3 schools, and these are the tally marks. 30 to 39, 14 schools. 40 to 49, 12 schools. In this way, 90 to 99, again 12 schools are there. Total of what? Number of schools or total of frequency, it is 100. It is 100. Presenting data in this form simplifies and condenses data and enables us, when we are present in such a simplified form, what happens? It enables us to observe certain important features at a glance. From that, what we can understand? We can understand some of the important features. Quickly we can understand it. This is called a grouped frequency distribution table. In the previous example, we had seen of the students who had attempted the test. What had happened there? It was whatever marks the students had scored, all the marks were recorded separately, and we had done a frequency distribution table, but it was ungrouped. Now here this is called a grouped frequency distribution table. Here we can easily observe that 50% or more plants survived in where 8 plus 18 plus 10 plus 23 plus 12 means 71 schools. See here what they have done. What they are saying, please understand carefully. Here we can easily observe that 50% or more plants. 50% or more plants. What happened? Survived in how many schools? It started from here. 8, 18, 10, 23, 12. In these many schools it happened. Because it started from here, 50%. Is it clear? So what is the total of these schools? It is 71 schools where this has happened. Proceeding further, we observe that the classes in the table are overlapping. Sorry, the classes in the table above are non-overlapping. Means what? See here, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49. Are they continuous? No, they are not continuous. So the classes are non-overlapping. Note that we could have made more classes of shorter size or fewer classes of larger size. Any of the possibility is possible. You can make classes of shorter size or you can make less classes of larger size. For example, the intervals could have been 20 to 26, 27 to 31 and so on. So there is no hard and fast rule about this except that classes should not overlap. What they have said, please understand, there is no hard and fast rule. They are saying there is no hard and fast rule. You can, now here the class width is of 10 and below they have said 22 to 26 or 27 to 31. What is happening here? The width can be 4 also. So there is no hard and fast rule about this except that the classes should not overlap. Now why the classes should not overlap? Children, a matter of common sense. There are 29 plants. Suppose if I say that there are 29 plants that are surviving in a school. Can I say in the next school there are 29.5 plants that are surviving? Is it not fun? Because the number of plants are nothing but whole numbers. It is not, I cannot say 29.5 class plants are been surviving there. That's why the classes made here are non-overlapping. What is the main thing here? That the classes made here are non-overlapping. It is understood. It is a very simple thing. Let us go for the next example. Let us consider the following frequency distribution table which gives the weights of 38 students of a class. Let us see what it is. It is a table in which it is showing the weights in kgs. Number of students 38. Now see here, the weight in kgs you can see there. The class range is 31 to 35. Number of students are 9. Next 36 to 40. Number of students are 5. And at the end you can see 71 to 75. Number of students, it is only one student. Agreed with this? Okay. No problem. What happened further? Now, if two new students of weight 35.5 and 40.5 kg are admitted in this class. Yes, a real-time situation. What is this real-time situation? That two new students have been admitted in the class. Their weight is 35.5 and 40.5. Come on, let us see where is 35.5. Here it is 35. And where is 40.5? Here it is 40. here it is 35, here it is 36, here it is 40, here it is 40, and here it is 41. Agreed? Then where is 40.5? Where is 35.5? No. So, then in which class interval will we include them? Yeah, it is a big question. Where to include them? In which class interval it is? We cannot add them in the ones ending with 35 or 40, nor to the following ones. Yeah, 35.5 is not 35, and it is not 36 also. 35.5 kg is not 36 kg, or neither 40.5 kg is not 41 kg, or neither 40 kg. I hope you are understanding the difference. So, this is why, what is the problem now? This is because there are gaps in between the upper and lower class limits where of two consecutive classes. See here, simple thing, 46 to 50, 51 to 55. What are these? These are the weights in kgs. Or the very first thing, 31 to 35 and 35 to 40. Now between 35 and 36, between 1 kg, is there nothing can be present in between? So what has happened? This has happened that there is a gap between the upper limits and the lower limits of two consecutive classes. So what we can do, how we have to handle this? We need to divide the intervals so that the upper and lower limits of consecutive intervals are the same. See what they are saying. They are saying that we need to divide the intervals so that the upper and lower limits of consecutive intervals are the same. Means the upper limit of the first class interval is the lower limit of the second class interval. Then only this problem can be sorted. Then only this data can be recorded in a particular class interval. So what we should do further? For this, we find the difference between the upper class, the upper limit of a class and the lower limit of its succeeding class. We then add half of this difference to each of the upper limits and subtract same from each of the lower limits. What they are telling, please understand carefully. Consider the classes 31 to 35 and 36 to 40. The lower limit of 36 to 40 is 36 and the upper limit of 31 to 35 is 35. The upper limit is 35 of the class interval 31 to 35 and the lower limit of the class interval 36 to 40 is 36. The difference between them is 1. 36 minus 35, the difference between them is 1. So half the difference is what? Half, that is 0.5. So what we are going to do? We are, here it is shown, the new class interval formed from 31 to 35 is, we are minusing 0.5 from the lower class limit and we are adding 0.5 to the upper class limit. Understand students properly what we have done? We have minus what? 0.5 from the lower class limit and we have added 0.5 to the upper class limit. So now what is the class interval? The class interval now is 30.5 to 35.5. Now similarly the new class formed are what? Now from the class 36 to 40 is what? 36 minus 0.5 and 40 plus 0.5. That is 35.5 to 40.5. Now you can see below, continuing in the same manner, the continuous classes formed are 30.5 to 35.5, 35.5 to 40.5, 40.5 to 45.5. What has been done? Please see here, 30.5, sorry, 31 to 35. From 31 we are minusing 0.5, it becomes 30.5, and in 35 the upper limit I am adding 0.5, it becomes 35.5. Similarly in 36, in the next class interval, from the lower limit, 36 minus 0.5, it becomes 35.5. Now here the upper limit in the first class interval is the lower limit in the second class interval, and here 40 will become 40.5 and here 41 will become 40.5. Means now the upper limit of one class is the lower limit of the second class. Means that what happens? The classes have become continuous. What has happened? The classes have become continuous. You can see here whatever I said just now in the table. 35.5 is the upper limit of the first class interval, and 35.5 to 40.5 means 35.5 is the lower limit in the second class interval. Means here the values are repeated, 35.5 again 35.5, and lastly 70.5, 70.5. I hope you have understood what I wanted to say. So now what happened? Now our problem is solved. What is that? Now it is possible for us to include the weights of new students in these classes. But now another problem has arisen. The student has the weight, how much it is? 35.5. Now see here, 35.5, it is the upper limit of the first class interval and it is the lower limit of the second class interval. Now where to include this fellow? 35.5, where to include him? Because it appears in both the classes. Here also 35.5 is present and here also 35.5 is present. So how to solve it? So by convention we have understood it. It has been explained to us that we consider 35.5 in the class, which class? Where it is the lower limit, where it is the lower limit, not the upper limit. Where it is upper limit, in the first class interval 35.5 is the upper limit, and in the second class interval 35.5 is the lower limit. So wherever it is the lower limit, in that class we are going to record it. Means in which class we are going to record or we are going to consider that student? It is in 35.5 to 40.5 and not in this class 30.5 to 35.5. We are not going to consider him there. Similarly, the second student whose weight is 40.5, he will be considered in the class 40.5 to 45.5 and not in the class 35.5 to 40.5. Yeah, the same is applicable to this student also. So the new weights 35.5 kg and 40.5 kg would be included in the classes 35.5 to 40.5 in this class interval and 40.5 to 45.5 respectively. Means 35.5 will go in this class and 40.5 will go in this class. Now with these assumptions, the new frequency distribution table is here. It is weight in kg, it is the weights in kg, number of students. the class intervals are given and the frequency, that is the number of students, is given here. Originally there were, if you can remember, originally they had said that weights of 38 students. After that, what happened? 2 more students got included of 35.5 and 40.5. There we understood that there is a limitation in the class interval that is been made, and that limitation has overcome by making the classes continuous. We have made continuous classes. What we have done in this case? From the lower limit we have minus 0.5, and from the upper limit or in the upper limit we have added 0.5. So my first class intervals upper limit is the lower limit of the second class interval. In this way the classes have become continuous, and I got the solution for the two students whose weight was 35.5 and 40.5. Now one more thing what I studied in this, the main thing is where to include these two students. Where to include these two students, either in the first class interval or in the second class interval, because you can see here 35.5 is repeated, upper limit and lower limit. 40.5 again the same thing. So I have understood it. It has taught to me already that the value that is coming as the upper class limit of a class is not been recorded in that particular class. It is recorded in the next consecutive class where this value is the lower limit. So I understood that 35.5 will be recorded in the second class interval where it is 35.5 to 40.5, and the student's weight 40.5 is recorded in the class interval 40.5 to 45.5. In this way we have understood that why the classes should be made continuous, what is the use of that, and also we have understood why grouping of the data is necessary. If grouping of the data is not done, what it happens? If the data is huge, if the data is huge in ungrouped form, I cannot present it. I cannot find the inferences. I have to group it. So there is an activity for you people. This activity, you people read it carefully and try to do it on your own. In this session I will conclude here, and in the next session we shall start with exercise 14.2. I hope you have understood whatever is covered till now. Go through the things once again and revise properly. Thank you.